All right, some final thoughts for this 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer with Sports, talking a whole lot more. Uh, we live in a very volatile society. There's no getting around that. There's a lot of stuff going on uh, throughout the world, throughout the land, throughout no matter what walk of life you're on, whether it be political, and it's very political, a very hasty landscape. We'll get to that in half a minute, but it's hard not to get caught up in these rabbit holes of what goes on in society, whether it be with musicians, whether it be with athletes, whether it be with actors, actresses, people in the public eye, influencers, whatever it might be. Politicians have always been that way. But the funny thing is the way that everything is such an elevated thing now, and everything goes to mock chicken right now, no matter what. And you have something always happens until something else happens, right? Everything's the flavor of the week. Everything's the biggest atrocity ever known to mankind. Everything's been the worst thing they've ever seen. Everything's been until something else happens 10 minutes from now. We live in such a what right now world that you can't get away from it. I mean, there's a thousand of these podcasts out there, and thank you for everybody who listen to watch our show. But there's so many of these things out there, whether it be podcasts or TMZ, whether it be whatever on ESPN or TSN or Sportsnet or whatever medium you choose to get your news from. But this isn't a new thing that's been getting a lot of more press lately, just because I think more so the political climate that we're in. But it's crazy how it's gotten to a level now more than ever. You have these musicians and athletes and actresses, actors, whatever it might be, who are larger than life or rich beyond belief, and they get put on this pedestal that is insurmountable to most of us who are outside of that celebrity world. Politicians as well are put on this pedestal for the right or wrong reasons, and whatever side you go on, that's your opinion. Whether it's left, right, upside down, backwards, sideways, it doesn't matter to me. I could care less. It's just always funny how these when athletes or we'll stick with athletes because it's a sports podcast. They get put on this pedestal. Actually, we'll talk about musicians as well, but they get put on this pedestal, and it's insurmountable, like I said, for most of us to understand what kind of money they have, what kind of life they live, what's going through their heads, and how it all works out. These guys have a job to do, and they do it very well. They wake up, they either go to the rink or the ball field or the football stadium or the concert that they're performing at, or they go to a sound stage in Hollywood. They go to do their job, then they go home, and they don't pay much. And I'm not going to say they don't pay much attention to their fans, because some of them do. But in general, I'm going to say that most of these celebrities, no matter what walk of life they're in, they could give a fiddler's toot about their fans. Do they say they're so thankful for their fans? Yes, and they probably are for the amount of money that they've amassed over their careers. Do they make is it money that I'll never see? Yes. Is it money that most of us never see? Yes. Is it crazy? Yes. But someone gave it to them. They found a way to do it, and they're the best at their profession, so they're more than entitled to get it. And I don't have any pangs of jealousy. Would enviously, not jealousy? I guess I'm envious, but not jealous. Yeah, would it be great to have that money? Yes, it would. let's not let's not sugarcoat that. But the pedestal that we put on with these athletes and with these superstars, we really got to watch how we do this, because most times it turns out pretty good. These guys, they play their sport, they play their instrument, they play whatever it is, and they ride off into the sunset when they either retire or get put to pasture when their careers are done or when they're not relevant anymore. And now everybody's relevant for a different period of time. There's legends that never die, and there's guys who are legends for a week. There's 10-minute guys who are their 15 minutes of fame's up pretty quick, and then they're just gone. But we really got to really watch how we with athletes who we put on pedestals, because it seems to me that it's coming back to bite us a lot more than it ever has in the past. You go back to 1994 and the O.J. Simpson thing. Yes, that's an extreme case, but it's still a case. There are still people who yeah, he had a bad night. That's all. And they say, yeah, he had a bad night, crime of passion, but they still cheer for him. Hall of Famer, Buffalo Bills, the Hertz commercials, the airplane movies, the USC Trojans, and on and on. They still put OJ on a pedestal and say, you know what, he made a mistake. Well, it's a pretty big mistake. He took people's lives. Whether you say he did or didn't do it, court of law. Well, I joke on this show that OJ Simpson, if he would have done it, he would have been in jail. But you know what? Um, let's not get beyond this. You look at guys like Ben Roethlisberger, look at guys like Kobe Bryant, who Kobe Bryant changed his number because he went from 24 to 8 or 824. I can't remember, but I remember what happened in that Colorado ski resort. That didn't go away, right? And so, but they get put on this pedestal, and you go like, oh, you know what? Dude's not a very good guy. And this goes back to the initial segment I had tonight with the morality clause that Major League Baseball or not baseball writers have, but maybe people got to have this morality clause with when it comes to their idols, because fans comes from fanaticism and fanatics, and they're not always a good thing. And it's time for people to really stop looking at athletes the way that we look at them and say that they're great. They're these great people. Like you look at Robbie Alomar, like we talked about earlier on. It's kind of how this all kind of coming together today. But one of the best to ever play the game, one of the greatest Blue Jays to ever play the game. He's been put into anonymity because of what he did off the field, right? And maybe that's the way it should be, but there's still people who idolize this guy. Maybe it's time that we, just watch the sport, go to the concert, go to a movie, and then just remember you got to go back to your real life. Can you cheer for a team? Yep. Can you cheer for a team forever? Yeah. Can one person ruin it for you? Yeah. And you can't be afraid to say, you know what? This person ruined it for me. This guy ruined this for me. Or just, I feel like we were talking with Deanna, we're talking this the other night, but it's kind of funny how like there's people who never look at Twitter, don't turn on the news, don't go on Facebook, Instagram, wherever it might be. They just don't. They're fans of whatever they might be. They have different ways of getting their information. Maybe they don't turn the news on, and maybe they're better off. They don't know that certain guys have certain political leanings. They don't know that certain women have leanings that go towards this way, or the other way. They don't know that maybe this person did something bad. They don't know that maybe this person got charged with things like that. And so they're just fans, and they can just turn it off and go, you know what? I watched the game or I watched the concert, and I'm done with it. And I think maybe it's time for most of us, a lot of us, to get that way, because a lot of times we get disappointed in what for these people we hold in such high regards that we lose focus, we lose sight of what's going on in the real world, because we're so enthralled with what we think we know of these people. We don't know these people. We never will. They don't know who we are. They could give a nothing about me. I'll never know who Taylor Swift is. I'll like, yeah, she sings a song. Yeah, good. I tap my toe. See you later. I watch a guy play hockey. Yeah, team wins, team loses. Yeah, good enough for me. It's the ones that's starting to bother me from your childhood. That's the ones that are starting to get to me a little bit. That, or not my childhood. Well, I guess it was my childhood with a certain hockey player, a certain political leaning that I don't that's just not my bag. That I don't agree with. And come at me if you want. Do whatever you want to say. If it's my opinion, if you have your opinion about somebody, you can voice that. You're more than happy to come. More than welcome come on my show and talk about it. But there's a certain someone that now I'm disappointed. But why am I disappointed? What's it matter to me? What's it matter to him that Brent Radlinsky disappointed somebody because of a certain political leaning? It doesn't matter. What a guy's got to do is put things in perspective, especially when you get older. That, you know what, this guy played hockey. He retired 25 years ago. 25 years ago, this guy retired. Was he great? Yeah. Did he make people smile? Yeah. Did he do wonderful things for Team Canada? Yeah. Even 2002 in Salt Lake City, he was the GM of that hockey team that won that broke the streak for Canada to win an Olympic gold. Was he part of that? Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, he's just a hockey guy, and I shouldn't care what he thinks. Is it disappointing? Yeah. But what does he care? What should I care? It's time for us to quit putting these athletes in such high regard. Put the game on, put the music on, read the magazine, watch the movie, and turn it off. Go back to your life, because what they do doesn't matter. It doesn't. Can they have some influence? Yeah. But you know what? That's not their job. It's not their job to sway votes. It's not their job to lean one way. What they believe is what they believe. Is it a surprise that this certain hockey player is the way he is? Not looking back on it. No. Like, you look back on everything now, you're like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. I guess so. Does it bother me? Yeah. Should it? No. At the end of the day, he played hockey. He played a sport that I love watching. He did some amazing things, and that's where it should stop. That's where it should stop. These people don't owe fans a thing. We're the ones who are dumb enough to watch it over and over. We're the ones who are dumb enough to buy the stuff. We're the ones dumb enough to listen to podcasts. We're the ones dumb enough to watch podcasts. We're the one dumb enough to start podcasts, watch whatever it is. It's not their fault. It's our fault as a society to put these people on such high pedestals. And then when they do something that we don't agree with, we ban them. We cancel them. Why? Because the guy played hockey 25 years ago? Because the guy played a song at a high level? Because the guy was a music producer? He did a bunch of crappy things? Should this guy ever been on a pedestal? 95% of the music we listen to, we don't know about these people. We know nothing about their lives. It's a song, you listen to the radio, you turn it off, go on the next one. There was people doing crappy things in the 70s. There are people doing crappy things in the 50s. You turn it on, you turn it off, done. Be entertaining. That's all it is. It's entertainment to get you away from whatever gets you through the whatever part of life that you're in. That's all sports entertainment should be. Then we got to really stop watching what we put on these guys on pedestals. What we should start doing is putting people on pedestals that deserve it. People around the community who help out, big brothers, big sisters, food bank people, stuff like that, stuff that actually matters, stuff that actually can help people. Athletes don't care. Rock stars don't care. I shouldn't say don't. Most don't. Most don't. They could care less. You think Puff Daddy gave a crap about anything? No. And everybody was surprised when all this crap went down with him. I'm not surprised. Bad people do bad things. He was just one of them. Did I know? Nope. Doesn't surprise me. And there's people like this in all walks of life. So anybody says it's just athletes who do it, it's just rock stars who do it, it's just movie stars, and all walks of life have bad people. But we don't put other bad people or people at a certain level. We don't put them on a pedestal. So why do we keep doing with athletes? Watch the game, cheer for the team, because you know what? That guy's going to retire, and somebody else is going to roll through, and cheer for your team. Don't put these guys on pedestals because they're just athletes, or they're guys that play a sport or strum a guitar at a level that you and I will never even imagine. And that's all it is. So we really got to stop putting these guys up on this upper echelon of things, because you know what? You keep doing it, you keep saying things like that, you're going to be disappointed. And that's on you, not on the athlete. Did they do something crappy? Yep. But they didn't do it to spite you. They didn't do it for anything. They did it because that's just who they are. They didn't do it because to get back at Brent Radlinsky. They don't care who I am. Why should I care who they are? Cheer for your team. He scores a goal, great. Scores a touchdown, great. Hits a home run, great. Puts out a new song, great. But that's all they should be. Entertainment. You turn it off and go home and go back to your life. Sports is supposed to be about escapism, not about the rest of it. Did that certain hockey player disappoint me with the way he's been leaning lately? Yeah. I'm not going to change the fact that he's what he did back in the 1980s. You know, there's reports out there right now about Mariano Rivera having a situation. You know, trying to cover things up. Crappy. Doesn't change the fact that he was the greatest closer of all time. You know, it's disappointing. But once again, he's an athlete. I shouldn't put these guys on pedestals. None of us should. Anyways, there's the final thoughts for the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 Beer Sports Talk and a whole lot more. Thanks everybody for listening.